much for having me here tonight. I really appreciate it. Again, my name is Danielle, and I'm here on behalf of MEGA, the Municipal Electric and Gas Alliance. And just a quick breakdown as to who MEGA is and what MEGA does. MEGA is a not-for-profit local development corporation that has served as an energy aggregator since 1998, which is basically when the utility industry deregulated in New York State. And we arose from a partnership between Tompkins County and Tioga County. Because once the two counties realized that they could work together and procure energy on their own, instead of having to only go through the utility for supply options, they said, well, hey, this could be a great opportunity for us to save some money and leverage our size together. People jokingly say that it's the one thing that the two counties can actually agree on, but through this partnership, a lot of other counties and municipalities have jumped on board. And since 1998, MEGA has grown to over 275 participants statewide, and includes counties, villages, towns, cities. Steuben County is a participant, as well as the city of Hornell. And MEGA has since expanded its offerings to include things like renewables, such as hydropower and solar. One of the things that MEGA really cares a lot about is reacting to what the participants want. And one of the things that we always hear from our participants, our municipal participants, is you've been able to help us save money and stabilize our energy costs. Is this something that you can do for residents? And until this past year, it wasn't something that we could do in an efficient way, and in a way that would actually really benefit a large group of people. But with this new program, Community Choice Aggregation, it's actually something that we can do for residents now. So, hello. So just to make sure that we're on the same page, your utility bill is divided into two pieces. You have the delivery portion of the bill, and you have the supply portion of the bill. The delivery portion of the bill is the part of the bill the utility handles, and that will include things like power outages, maintenance, things of that nature. The supply portion of the bill is the portion of the bill that MEGA helps municipalities with through our competitive procurement process, in which we get bids from energy services companies, or ESCOs, and then pick the low bid supplier. And this is where Community Choice Aggregation, we're looking to help residents on the energy supply piece of this. So just a little bit of background history. Community Choice Aggregation is part of a larger program in the state called New York REV, or the Reforming the Energy Vision Initiative. And that's a plan to modernize New York's energy system. The state took a look at how much it would cost to update New York's aging grid. And it's been, I want to say, probably close to 4 decades since the high voltage transmission lines and things like that have been updated in a rigorous fashion. The state realized it would have cost trillions of dollars to do a one-off update. So the idea was basically, how can we focus on improving the grid with a focus on reliability and affordability, but also a focus on empowering and engaging consumers? How can we do this in a way that makes people more engaged with their individual energy future and their community's energy future? And CCA is kind of the first piece to that puzzle. It's been in the works for a couple of years. The first proceeding was issued in December of 2014, and the final order came out in April of 2016. And MEGA has hit the ground running with that. So Community Choice Aggregation is a program that gives municipalities the ability to pool the energy usage of residents in order to make a bulk purchase. 3 layers of governments can do this. Cities, towns, and villages are all capable of forming an aggregation or joining an aggregation or this energy purchasing group. Counties can have a supervisory or facilitator role, but they can't actually create their own aggregation. And the idea is that the Public Service Commission envisioned that there would be a lot of confusion. Let's say the village was interested in doing this, and the county was interested in doing this at the same time. Residents of the village wouldn't know which aggregation to join. So the idea is that the most local form of government has to be the form of government authorizing CCA in order for a resident to participate. So say if you're a resident of the village, but the village doesn't want to go forward, but the town decides to go forward, you wouldn't be a part of the CCA, because even though you're in the town, the village is your most local form of government. Really cool piece to this is that local governments can work together to create larger aggregations, so you're not there on your own. And this is where MEGA's pre-existing relationships with other municipalities really comes into play. So, in order to work with another municipality, you need two things. You need to be in the same utility territory, and you need to be in the same New York Independent System Operator load zone. And that's basically just a fancy way of saying this is how power is wholesaled in this area. So the village has a lot of different people that it can potentially work with. The village can work with anyone within that swath of purple, so NYSEG territory, and within that teal zone. And we already have a lot of people who have decided to explore CCA with MEGA, the city of Hornell being one of them.
Excuse me, Dana.
Yeah.
Earlier you said Hornell was a participant.
Yep.
Now you're saying they're exploring.
So the city of Hornell is a MEGA participant. They do their, so MEGA has
the city offices, you mean the city?
Yeah.
Like the office, not the, but the city residents, they're probably exploratory.
Yep, that's the exploratory.
Okay.
Yep, so MEGA has two programs. It has a municipal procurement program, which is solely for, municipal office buildings, things like that. CCA is for residents. So the city of Hornell is a MEGA participant in that we help them procure their energy for their municipal buildings. But they, back in December, opted to explore community choice aggregation as well.
So the only ones who would be affected by this program right now would be the residents only.
Yeah.
Churches, the businesses downtown, the school, they wouldn't be, they'd have to do it themselves.
Yeah, and actually that's a great question and a great point, and I will segue into that a little later on. That's a really good point, and I will definitely be getting to that. So we anticipate that there are three primary benefits of CCA. The first benefit being we expect that it will bring better rates for consumers. Because right now when you and I go out to procure energy on our own, we don't really use that much energy. So the average resident uses about 10,000 kilowatt hours annually, so we don't really have the individual purchasing power in order to leverage our size in the open market and get a better rate. It's kind of the Costco principle or the Sam's Club principle. If you go and you buy toilet paper in bulk, each individual roll will cost less. And that's kind of the same principle at work here. There's also a really key competition piece to this. So right now, if an energy service company wants your business, they have to reach out to you on their own. Or you can go to an energy service company and try to get your own quotes. But most residents will, go to maybe 1, 2, 3 people, but they don't necessarily have the competitive piece they would get if, say, their energy services companies were bidding on this large pool. So there's increased competition, and through this competition piece, we anticipate that suppliers will really sharpen their pencils in order to get the business. And another piece to that is when an energy service company wants to get your business right now, they either have to reach out to you on the phone, knock on your door. I'm sure we've gotten those door knocks at dinner telling us, hey, we have a great deal for you. Or they have to send us a letter, or any combination of those things. So through this, community choice aggregation would eliminate that. Energy services companies would do one bid on one group of people, so the customer acquisition costs, the price that they would pay to get to you individually, would be passed through to you because they would only be doing one bid on one large pool. There's also a strong consumer protection piece to this. We anticipate that CCA will significantly reduce the door-to-door and telephone solicitations, which will protect consumers from some of the more predatory marketers out there. I know that was one of the, when I spoke with Mayor Hogan, that was a big thing for him. He He had said that, you know, we wanted to outlaw this in the city, the door-to-door solicitations, just because people were really being taken advantage of. And with CCA, if a community is located in an aggregation or participating in an aggregation, there isn't any real incentive for an ESCO to go to residents within the community, because it'll be like finding a needle in a haystack. Another piece to this is Mega has almost 2 decades of experience evaluating bids and contracts from these ESCOs, so we have a really good idea as to what to look out for, who the good players are, and what we can do to help maximize and get the best possible rate and contract for residents. Another cool piece to this is that you can tailor it to your community's needs and future plans. If you're interested in renewable energy, we can help you procure a renewable supply option. It's also a platform for things like distributed generation resources like solar, microgrids, and energy efficiency. So, in order to move forward with this program, a municipality needs 3 things. And these 3 things are subject to New York Public Service Commission approval. And you need an implementation plan, which is a blueprint for how this is going to work in the community. You need a data protection plan, which ensures that the data being sent from the utility to the ESCO won't be used to sell people things like cruise tickets or Beanie Babies or anything crazy like that. And lastly, you'll need to adopt a local law authorizing CCA. And we have drafts of all of these documents, so you won't have to write it yourself. We don't believe in recreating the wheel. If we don't have to, we want to make this as easy of a process for people as it can be if they want to get involved with this. So with this program, we're looking to create a new default to the utility. Right now, when you move into an area, you are automatically with the utility for supply. It's an opt-out, right? You're either automatically with the utility, or you have to opt out and potentially go to another supplier. This program is an opt-out program. So all residential and other small non-demand customers who are currently with the utility for supply will be included in the initial aggregation. Now, if someone is with an energy service company, if they already made that decision, they won't be included in the aggregation, because we don't want to be breaking people's contracts and we want to honor that choice. Let's say the village is interested in moving forward with this. Mega will then send a letter, a municipal letterhead that Mega pays for, to all eligible residents. And that letter will say, these are the terms, this is the program, these are the terms of the program. If you're interested, you don't have to do anything. If you're not interested, this is how you opt out of the program. Once those letters are sent out to residents, a 30-day opt-out period begins. So residents will have 30 days before supply from the aggregation begins to opt out of the program. Now let's say the aggregation begins, people didn't see the letter, or they just decided at a later date that it wasn't for them. They can leave the program and return to the utility without having to deal with a cancellation fee. And to your earlier point, there is an opt-in piece to this program, which could include other larger customers, but that will be decided by the municipality on a case-by-case basis. Another important piece to this program, the state is mandating that there is a 60-day education and outreach component to this program. So Mega needs to do at least 60 days of education and outreach, and this is something that Mega does at its own risk. Mega will put the money up for that in order to do it. This comes at no additional or any cost to the municipality. And during that 60-day period, we have to use multiple methods in order to reach out to residents. Some of the ideas that other municipalities have had include doing something, advertising at their municipality-wide garage day. That was a big thing. Other municipalities have community centers or local watering holes that everyone goes to, so they want to do events there. So it really depends on the municipality, and Mega will rely on the municipality in order to get direction on how to best reach residents. So New York is the 7th state to explore community choice aggregation. Mega's consulting partner, who I work with, has experience in Illinois. We work with 40 municipalities in Illinois, and each of those municipalities have renewed multiple times. So we've seen a lot of interest and success there, and we think that that can be the same thing can be done in New York State. In New York, there is one pilot program, and that pilot program is in Westchester County. That program includes 20 municipalities and approximately 91,000 customers, and supply from their CCA started in May. And on average, they've seen around $10 a month in savings on energy supply. So with our program, we have 7 steps in order to implement this in a community.